Hello and welcome to your Advanced Mind Coaching, Developing Better Strategies training audio. Do not do this while you're driving or doing something that may require your full attention. You can, however, do this with your eyes open or closed, preferably closed. Remember, the more you do this, the more automatic it becomes. So let's begin. First of all, I want you to notice how you're feeling right now. And think to yourself, is this feeling any benefit to you? And as best you can, I want you to think to yourself, why have you decided to change how you feel now? Okay, I'm going to give your mind an instruction and it will follow. And when I do, just nod your head for yes and allow your mind to process it, and it will happen below the level of your conscious awareness. So focus all your attention on an imaginary ball of energy out in front of you just for a moment while I give your mind an instruction to follow. Okay, I'm instructing your unconscious mind to let go of any emotional connection it has made to all of the challenges outside of you. Now nod your head if you agree. Okay, so bring your mind to a particular challenge that you'd like to change. And as best you can, just imagine that you're the observer in this process, almost like you're coaching a friend through this. So think of a past, present, or future challenge. And imagine you're observing yourself in that challenge from a small distance. And as you imagine seeing yourself reacting in the particular way that you'd like to change, maybe you'll notice that that version of you is either doing or not doing something that you'd like to change. Now, observing that problem from this perspective, you might be aware of certain things and start to see things you couldn't see when you were inside that problem that you're observing. So notice as you look at it now, how do you think that you're making yourself feel that way inside your mind about that problem? What are you doing, or what are you saying to yourself or not saying to yourself that's holding you back and causing you to feel that way, feeling stuck? And remember, your unconscious mind in the background is noticing things that you can't be consciously aware of just yet. And as you see that you that was reacting and focusing on that particular problem that way, how would you like to be reacting differently from now? Okay, so as best you can, imagine allowing and seeing that version of you starting to let go of negative feelings and negative thoughts and that negative mindset without judging it. Just imagine seeing that you're just letting go. And imagine it's like a colour or maybe even a mist leaving their body and letting go of all the judgments about themselves and everything else. Letting go of the pressure of wanting to control things. And watch that version of you now letting go of clutching and holding on to the heaviness. Remember, your mind doesn't operate off time. Whatever you imagine, it believes is happening now in the background. That's how your mind is working for you. So as best you can, do this without judgment. And as you watch that person, that you from this perspective, what would they need to do differently in order to react and feel better now? What can they stop shifting their attention to now, that when they do, things just flow better and they get out of their own way? What would you tell a friend to do in that situation? You are changing. So whatever that you was doing, imagine that you is doing the opposite of what they were doing. And again, what would you tell a friend to do in that situation? And when that you is thinking and reacting this new way, how will it affect the quality of life from that point on, being this new way, paying attention to different things? As best you can, think about it and go ahead and imagine how it looks, seeing that version of you reacting and being this new way, paying attention to different things, shifting their attention. And if you want to get this process really flowing, you can go ahead now and put your hands behind your head. Even if you're sitting down or lying down, get into the power pose position. Or you can just put your hands on your hips. Either way is good. Okay, so as you're doing this, notice this new mindset as you imagine watching yourself being this way, how it would be affecting your quality of life differently, and even the quality of life of the people around you. And imagine seeing this new you reacting in this new way, just watching them let go of what's not important, almost like a mist just leaving their body. Remember, feelings want to leave, they're just looking for instructions. Your mind is not judging this. So no matter what you're thinking, just let it pass without judgment. And see yourself just reacting in this way, make it up. And notice how that they're mastering paying attention to the present moment. Just taking the smallest next step. And imagine after a period of time has passed, imagine seeing yourself after being this way for some time now. After becoming an expert at just letting go. And notice how this new you is reacting differently even to future events with these new resources that you have created. These new instructions that you've installed that your mind didn't have before. And how they're not taking life's challenges so seriously. They're just taking the smallest next step and paying attention to what's important. And as you imagine watching this new you, installing these new instructions, creating these new choices, what's everything else in life, and in life in general, that this new you is focusing on and paying attention to, that makes them feel good. Notice even just some of the small things in life, the simple things. And they're being an expert in just letting go. Notice how they feel with these new skills of paying attention to what's important in life. Now, as best you can, allow your mind to just start to connect you into this new you. And imagine being inside this new you, and you're looking through your own eyes. And imagine that feeling of having been this way now for some time. Really imagine getting into the feeling, and just imagine feeling a good feeling in your heart space. And imagine that you're in the future and you're looking back on this year and you're realizing how far you've come and how many people you've possibly helped just by being this new way. And you're inside the place you call home, your body, this gift called life that you get to experience living. And as best you can, go ahead and choose to notice what's really important about this life you are now living. What's the important things that when you pay attention to those things, they just make you feel better on this journey called life? Doing the best you can with what you have. And imagine it's a period of time has passed by and you're in the near future looking back on that challenge that you had. And you're in the near future, you're looking back on that challenge that you had. And you're thinking to yourself, If only I knew then what I know now. And you do. How are you being as a person having already achieved this now? And as best you can, get into the feeling and imagine feeling it in your body. Bring up the feeling. Now, you're already good at bringing up feelings. If you could think about something in the past and you could feel bad, it's the same process. You can already do this. Imagine bringing up that feeling. You know what it feels like, having achieved something. As best you can, bring up the feeling. Exactly how are you feeling in your body, already having achieved this way of being now as a person, as you imagine in your mind looking back. And what would you do now differently from that point on, given a second chance to do it again? As you look at the bigger picture from the bigger perspective, and you can see all the exclusions that your mind deleted when you were inside that problem that you couldn't see. What would you do differently, given a chance to do it again? What would you spend more time doing with all of the resources and choices that life has to offer? Looking at everything else that's not the problem. What resources would you use and choices would you make differently now? And imagine you've already overcome it and you're looking back. And as best you can, bring up the feeling of gratitude. And this is the most powerful frequency that a human body can experience, is gratitude. It overrides everything else. You can't feel sad when you're feeling gratitude. You can't feel guilt when you're feeling gratitude. Imagine, as best you can, feeling a gratitude, having already been this way for some time, having achieved this, and imagine feeling gratitude in your body. How does being grateful feel? Now, as you think about it, already having achieved this. And imagine holding on to that feeling so your mind can apply it to the process. Don't judge it. Your mind knows what to do with this. So just allow your mind to consider and adjust and calibrate to this new way of being in the background. And allow the unconscious level of your mind to process these new instructions. And I'll leave it up to that learning part of your mind to decide to let you know when and how much you have changed. And from this point on, all you really have to do is just choose to take the smallest next step. And keep this word in mind, shish, which is short for small, humble, important shifts in your attention. And it would be great for you to keep this word as your gentle reminder that when you get any feeling that reminds you that you are alive and living, that those feelings are a gentle signal from your body to remind your mind to pay attention to what is important. You are learning. Your mind has now been trained to work for you. And as your mind processes this new blueprint you have created, to have the skills to conquer all of the challenges that you want to achieve in this experience we call life, that you are living. All you have to do is choose to look at the bigger picture from this point on. And when you see the bigger perspective, it just means that you'll have access to more choices in life. And you get to choose. Because everything in life is a process. And you're processing it. And when you realize that it is a process, you can change how you process it. Feeling that gratitude in your body, having already achieved this. And as you're doing this, changing, you can choose to come back up to the surface. But before you choose, just consider, what's the smallest next step that you can take to move you toward where you want to go? And just allow yourself to just use what's available to you in the present moment. Because from moment to moment, you will just do and be anyway. So just do and be present. And every now and then, just choose to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And take the smallest next step. And whenever you're ready, bring this gratitude back up to the surface. Your unconscious mind is processing, feeling this new way. And automatically you'll probably notice. You see things differently. You feel different. So take the smallest next step.